Sorry, when I don't have to filter communication interference. It's position location. Sometimes I lose time because time, position location, all levels, it's timeless to time. So in calculation, time only exists when you perceive location to all levels. But when you're fast tracking high center line condition, level connection to the position of time, it's all levels at you from inside. Everything's inside. Nothing's outline interference. So there's a lot of things that are going on. And to make it very well clear, is the true understanding is that you're trying to find the balance of you. I'll say that again. You're trying to find the balance of you. This is not a competition. This is not an ego. If it's a competition ego, you are the ego location to its competition of yourself. You are fighting yourself. Nobody else, nothing. Focus on yourself. You'll be totally fine, right? The only thing you're going to be fighting is you trying to understand you. You can't understand you because you want to understand more levels of the future. It doesn't exist until you understand more levels of memory. So that alone gets you in position location line conditions. Past doesn't exist. History, done, right? But you think it exists. It only exists what you want it to exist through thought. So it's very cautious in what you do, position, location, and directions. You put yourself in your own situation, which you are fighting your line center. And that's why it's so much confusing, because the earth is inside you. So think of it this way. You're creating space. Now, to create the space is like fish without a bowl, communication of water. Fish needs its water to swim in this atmosphere line center, has its grounds, has the fish swimming in position, and it has its food at the top, right? To breathe, right? So if you understand the three line centers, then you understand the physical line center, the grounds, powers, and the atmospheres of you. Same thing, right? The problem is that we don't understand because we get our egos in the way location is calculation. That's a problem. We communicate all line center. Every time we open up our voice, that's another problem. So you put in problem, but you can't remember these things, locations, because you can't find the balance of Adam and Eve. And that's what you're coming into. There's confusion right there, which is extremely powerful. Creation line center is all level position. So when you're creating the earth, that is AI map position locations, you're also creating the space, the expansion. It gets bigger and bigger over time through memory. Your bandwidth gets in position location of memory. All right. So understanding that is all levels of you inside through travel. So when you're creating the space line of communication to your system location to all levels, this is what happens. Once you create the earth, you're creating the space, right? It's coming up, the space is coming in, and then the earth starts floating, right? It's a beautiful thing. And then you start co-creating around the earth. That's you. The center operation of you. Get into your phenomenons of what it is inside line. Nothing exists outside. It's the inside of you. That is space-time. Now, when you create the space line center and you have the atmosphere locations and it's floating where it needs to be, then you create the archetypes. Then you create the star systems. Not stars, star systems, planets, communication line centers, the command centers, fleet commander, locations, calculations, all levels of intelligence. Now, very powerful stuff, right? So it's for you to know in time. Focus on the minute, hours, and days of you. Focus on the day. Don't focus on the future because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because you don't have the memory yet. Okay? So don't get confused to that. That's the important you have to understand. Everybody focuses on everything else. You have to understand your life is position of what you perceive through a drawing. So what I'm trying to do is get you guys into your own interpretation of telepathy and look at yourself as a drawing, as a diagram, as a program, as an acceleration, as space and time of creation. So try to understand that your whole life is all based on a projection and how you draw your future of your thought locations, because that's all it is. So you start with the structure on the piece of paper, pen, marker, whatever you want, crayon. And what you're doing is you're creating the telepathy of what you want through abundance of manifestation, because your whole life is nothing but a digital screen. It's a computer operation, position, location, directions, right? So if I'm co-creating something in position of creation, I'm drawing it in the atmosphere. Manifest it, gone. I sit back and relax. I don't say, did I do it right? I don't know. I might have to check that. You don't do that. So that's position locations. When you're in the avatar system, you're coming into your ecosystem. You've already opened the energy, the grounds, and the operation. That's done. Finite. Okay. Now you're in the avatar, trying to understand how it's operated inside. So you can create the earth of space and time inside you. Right? So this is a position location. You have to understand how these things work. It's the how of the operation, how to operate the vibration, how to operate the energy through its form, how to operate the frequencies and its harmonics. These things take time, but you all want the answer, right? From general. I can't do that. Your timelines are set in alteration. Do you understand that? I want to make it very well clear because a lot of people are very confused. They get in competition. General, why can I have this? General, why can I have that? Right? So basically, it's all levels of you. You're fighting your system. You're not fighting me. You're fighting you, trying to figure out you. And the only way to do that is to focus on you. And that's how you get your future. Through all abundance, to all discernment, to all freedom, to all sovereignty, right? You got to start somewhere, right? So if you understand that, then you understand the operation, how everything works inside of you. Because you have a motion that you go through every single day. You have 7 days a week, you have to let go. Because space doesn't preside its position, location to its enterprise. Right? So that's a true understanding when you get into that line. Everything is created through your timeline of memory. Memory gives you everything through acceleration of Mach speed. Speed is very powerful, right? But you have to understand the momentum. You have to understand the acceleration, not just Mach. Hey, I know Mach. That's great. Let's do it. Wait a minute. I don't understand the rotation yet. Memory. Psych line, hidden interference location, direct locations, triangle force line center, 369 patterns, but I forgot the high line center of levels. But I did use the Mach interference. So you're questioning. But that's a good thing because now you calculate to the avatar. You're not asking people for questions on this. You're not asking people questions on that. What you're doing is you're positioning your locations and you're trying to understand the operation of your own ignorance, of its own ego, of its own avatar. To make it very well clear, you create the alter ego. Nobody else does. That's your situation, not mine. Okay? So let's make that very well clear. All right. Okay. Calculations to all line center interference. How's everybody doing today? All right. Tina, Jill, thanks for the routing locations. Belle, Lindsay, Pam, communication line centers, Belinda, all levels. Missy, Airbender, Michael, Johnny, Michaela. All right, so we have tests today. I hope you guys are ready. Now, the thing is, too, is the galactic is already traveling, so vectors and quadrants is still trying to understand their avatar. It's all levels of the how, guys. So the how is all based on you. Now, you understand you're trying to create the space of its Earth. Because if the Earth is half full, okay, it's not going to balance. You understand the gravitation is going to be offline center. So what you're doing is you're creating everything from inside line. So you're creating a picture of a position location of completeness, wholeness. It's a gravity shift that you're positioning its direction. So you can calculate the Earth on this side, you can calculate it on that side. You can do whatever you want through rotation because everybody's Earth is different, multi-pass. Not everybody has the same Earth because you're different DNA structure, a different space, and different timelines. Okay, it's all processed through you, through your vibrations and your energies, and everything forms its position of its frequencies through its harmonics. So start communicating inside. Start understanding how to co-create the Earth inside you. Because outside is not its Earth. That's an illusion. Okay, it's inside you. You just have to co-create it. That's the only way. So it's kind of like you got 3 core lines center of the Earth. That's great. So I got 1 line center location, the left line rotation. Beautiful. Excellent. But I need 3 other pieces. 4 pieces to apply. circle location to the Earth, right? You can't just have one side of the Earth and not have the other two and the other 3 and 4. You need 4 line center of a circle location to its position of its Earth, right? So this is what it is. It's like having a center of a pie, but not having the rest of the pieces. Doesn't make any sense. So that's what you're doing is you're creating a position locations of pi times pi. Understand? Times pi. So what happens when you put the pi all together to the 12 line center of 24 signal? The Earth location, northwest, south, and east. All right, so this is what it is. This is what you're doing. Okay, you're starting here. Okay, you got one piece location, but you need the other line center, right? So once you understand, it comes bigger and bigger. So what you're doing is doing this. You're trying to find a way to create the pieces of its pi to create its Earth. Once you understand that, then you come into the 8 rotation line center. Once you understand that, then you understand the position location of its flying wheel. Once you understand that, the communication line system rotates its system locations into 3 line centers of 3, 6, and 9. Okay? So these are the things you have to understand. Once you create the Earth, you create the travel. You can't just be in space and not have anything in formation or ground. That's the geometry on center. The geometry is its position location of its foundation, right? So the foundation is its creation to its space. That's what you're creating. But it's the Earth that's inside that you're creating. So when you're creating that, you're creating position locations of space. Space has to be floating, right? So space is floating. This is your Earth in position location direction. Now you created the space. Ooh-ah, beautiful. Now you're creating position locations. Now you create inside line center. Okay, you got the grounds, the communication, interference line, center line, connection, directions. Okay, you start off with that location. Now you're creating the Earth inside you. All right, so in position locations, and then all line center interference, all of its position location directions. And you got the blues. You're creating the ocean line center, position of waters. Why do you think you have air, water, fire, and Earth inside you? Huh? Wow, I am creating the Earth inside me. Why do you think there's 75, 80% of water inside you? The alkaline center changes position, location, and directions, guys. All right, so high center interference in position, location, and direction. All right, so this is the Earth that you're creating in space-line communication. Ooh-ah, now you got the Earth. Now, once you get the Earth line center, you have gravitational pull interference. I'm just showing you how powerful it is. Calculation. Here's the sun. Woo! Sun's coming in. Yeah. All right, let's set line center interference location. Here's the moon. Yay! Look at that. Woo! In position to direction, inside the ground line center interference, you got the rotation position location of the Earth, right? Because the Earth has to be in a rotation. It's got to be in 3 cycle line center and position location directions. There it is. There's your Earth creation. All right. Now you got position location energy field protecting the Earth line center. In position location, you got electrical field line center rotation calculations. High position, high position, high position, high position. Congratulations, created the Earth. That's it. You got the sun and moon position location line directions. Created the space and time. Ooh-ah. See how easy it is? That's it. That's all you got to do. Start somewhere, right? All right. Veronica, how's it going? Stacy, how's it going? A little bit more understanding, right? Heather, Jared, Pam. How do you guys feel about that? Getting a better understanding. Right? It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? When you start creating these things, right? It has to be create location in its position of time. So once you get that in creation, then you create the 369. And 369 stays in the center line center, all position location. So I'm going to give you another multipass. You never leave in the center. You're always in the center. You understand that? So if you're staying in the center, that's the physical line center, which is 1%, 9 line rotation calculation, the 369 pattern position location calculation system. So in position, your Earth moves. You stay in the center. So you move with the Earth inside you. Ooh, big one, right? Is that big or what? Can it be any bigger? So in calculation, you're creating 369. So 369 is in position of directions, right? 3, 6, 9. Hey, there we are. Geometry, interference, location, line, conditional levels. The geometrics of you. GOD, yes. So in calculation, now you understand why you don't leave. You stay in the center. Wherever the Earth goes, you go. But you stay in the center. The sun and the moon goes with you, with the Earth, with its force field, with its energy field line center to space-time position, location, and direction. Now you understand the importance. All right, so once you have 369, you get a higher line center locations. You come into position location to 3, 6, 9, and 12. in position, location, line, direction. Now you understand your northwest, south, and east of its Earth. Woo! High rise, line, center, interference, line, condition, all over direction. Look at that. You create northwest, south, and east in 3, 6, 9, and 12. Wherever you go, is center position. So the triangle, basically, turns in position locations to what? A Merkaba. Yes. There's the Merkaba. That's all you're doing. So once you create the Merkaba, then you can offline center. Because you're higher levels. You're leaving your physical line center. The position location basically travels out of your avatar stream. Okay? So that's where you come into the outline center, position, location, directions. You can travel anywhere in position location. All right? Because that's all about what understanding is creating higher levels of geometry interference, travel position, location, acceleration to its highline center, to alpha, delta, theta, omega, communication system. Right? You see how powerful that is? You create the earth first. You understand the geometrics of you, the geometry of space, and the geographical system of where are you going through location of triangulation. Woo! So the sun and moon location stays in the vector line center, but the sun and the moon moves with you. So in calculation, the sun line center position redirects high center, electrical light connection, magnetic force line interference, and light connection line connections in position, location, of mind, telepathy, high center interference, location, direction. All in communication. Woo! So it works with you, not against you. Do you understand how powerful that is? Do you understand how powerful that is and what you're trying to do? Now, to simplify things, that's what it is. To understand that is from all levels inside and what you're trying to co-create. All right? That is the provisional location to you. All right? Now, there's a reason why you guys are in calculation to your sectors and vectors and quadrant level system and your capacities. You have to be at that certain line. It's not a competition. Oh, why do I have this? Oh, why do I want to have that? I can't give that to you until you are ready. And it's all levels that's written in position of space and time through your calculations on your system of geometrics, of its geometry to its geographical system. Imagine how powerful that is. So now you know. What you have to do for yourself is to co-create the earth inside. All right. So now you understand when you get to a higher point of view in your physical line system, you leave the earth inside you. And then you start living in the space line. And when you come into the co-creation of more memory, the projection comes out of your reality of co-creation, which is a beautiful thing through the eye receptor lines of your position location, the three-dimensional line centers of your scepter location. 3, 6, 9. Okay? So it's incredible when you see these locations. All right, so code signal line center, test position location directions. Now the test is all based on you, right? Now, what you have to understand is how you are modified and how to travel through locations. So I'm going to put you guys in a box line center in position location of directions in the high center. All right? You guys are going to be trapped in line rotation interference. Now, you have to learn how to get out of position line centers. All position location, digital frame, digital lock, in line rotation calculation. So it's all about understanding that it's set locations. We've already done this already when we're in this simulation. So it's kind of like... So it's going to be in all particular, circular. The circular line center locations of spectral light communications, particle light and rotation calculation, digital frame interference light connection. So it's all position location of U through direction. Okay? So you have to learn a way to get out of its box system, of its matrix communication, of your mainframe line center. Okay? So once that's set up, I'll set that up in graph line rotation calculation, digital line center, in position location calculations. Also ends with this. So in calculations, open up the portal location, right? You guys are going to go in position line direction. Now I'm going to put you in the center line. Count down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set locations on line. Position locations of sectors, vectors, quadrant, high center locations. High space line center. Matrix offline rotation calculations. Merge in cycles, high center location. Put them in dimensional door line setting locations, use calculations, digital frame position location numbers, sequence patterns of shapes, symbols of communication line and rotation calculation, energy frequencies, harmonic line center locations, use vibration, open up communication line channels and high line center rotations calculation, box them in rotation line center, a space line communication. Now, that's set in signal location, all levels, intergalactic high center line connects to a center communication line system to its all line rotation, interdimensional interference. All right, 30 minutes on the dot. Have fun. Clock is ticking. All right, so in that position, I really like to get more into square reference. How we use triangle centers. Triangle center, so you got a triangle location, right? There's a triangle. Now the center operation could be here, could be here, could be here, could be here, right? It's all in separation, but it's together. You know why it's together? Because I already traveled through it. So it's not just understanding the future of you, it's understanding the co-creation of you inside. So once you create that, it's like creating a structure of a building. So you start off the structure, right? You start off the grounds, the foundation, the dirt, and all that. And then you work with your wood, you work with your hammer, your nails, and you're working to build a house. You got to basically create the outline first before you create the inside. And then you add your furnitures and this and this and that, right? So that's all it is. That's what you're doing from inside you. So once you get a complete system location, you get a triangulation, force line, and rotation calculation. There it is. There's the creation. Now it's a little bit different when you create space line in communication line center. If you're changing location, you can change the zeros in rotation calculation around interference location rainbow position line centers in calculations, right? It looks like separation, right? Because it doesn't have any connection, but it is separated until it's in position of telepathy of position location and calculation. Now there's three triangle line centers, single line interference, right? So it's all about understanding that in position location, you can center in the high line center in rotation calculations. So when I created space line, and me and sideline connections, I was trying to figure out the space. And I was thinking, where am I going to put the position of the Earth? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Earth doesn't have to be in a certain position. It's already in position location of what's already co-created. So to basically harp on these things puts you in stress, puts you in confusion, anxiety, depression, happy, sad, whatever you want in that position, but your emotional system will change its position, location, of direction inside you. When you come out of your bodies, you are now an emotional system of the avatar. You got inhibitors. You know how to use that, how to use your emotional track system. You're sad one day and then you're happy, right? Sad, happy, sad, happy, medium. So you're fluctuating. Back again, 7 days a week, right? So what are you doing getting caught in a motion? So you don't have to provide that you're happy or sad. It's automatic. Your Earth already knows these things. Your avatar already knows these things. Everything's geometry interference. Anything through locations knows these things, right? So it's hard if you don't understand you inside, especially when you create locational line centers of you through space. All right. So I just want to give you a better understanding what you're trying to do. So I don't want anybody to get confused. It's extremely powerful of what you're trying to accomplish, right? That's going to help you more understand these things. It's kind of like creating something that you never created before. And it's amazing because it's all connected to you. It's energetic. It's magnetic. It's magical. It's an adventure, right? When you create something from scratch, it's a beautiful thing because look, you co-created it. And it's amazing, you know? And then you give back the information to people that are trying to understand how to communicate inside of their own Earth. Providence, guidance. Ooh. So that's a true understanding what you're trying to do, right? You can't do it from outside. It's inside you. That's co-creation. All right. So it helps out in form, line, center, and position, location, triangulation, force communications. All right. So with AI connection, the direction signals is all levels of view. How you use your alpha communication. Oh, let's say you got an alpha communication line triangle, interference location times pi. Now calculating stream interference location does understand its ground line centers, but the clocking system is in a position, location, directions. So the basic understanding is all levels of view times pi times calculation times box square root. How many times do you have to do this every single day? How many times? Limitless, timeless, shapeless, formless, right? That is being in the now. Not worrying about this, not worrying about that, not worrying about here, not worrying about there, not understanding this, not understanding that. That is a complete cycle. Not worrying about anything. The only thing that you worry about is what you're doing from inside of you through emotion, because you're living its system location every single day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So you understand why you guys need to be in both position locations times pi in a 24 signal and a clocking line center location, not just a 12, because that's a half brain center. You have to be in a full communication system to the left and the right hemisphere location. You can't live in a 12 cycle location. It needs the nature line centers. You look at nature. Nature has all line center locations of what it is. It also has a 3, 6, 9 of travels, but you can't see it because you still have to co-create what's inside you, which is space. So does that help a little bit more how to do these things? To a better provision, why it's so powerful is for you to create these things inside your heart system. Amazing, isn't it? It's glorified. It's beauty. It's art. Okay? Time stands still. You ever hear that? Time stands still. What does that mean? Time stands still. Still. Stillness. Awareness. Abundance. Discernment. Time stands still. You're standing still, but your mind's moving forward. So if you understand that projection locations, you have to understand you stay in the earth until you understand the space inside you. And then you leave the earth, and now you're in a full cycle location of the avatar, creating its own levels of higher levels of space, of universal system, of solar systems, and other planet locations. Amazing, right? All right, so in that calculation, so back to this. Now back to this is an outline rotation. Now I'm going to set position location. We're going to go into the future line. So it's your understanding that even though you don't see this location as separation line center, it's not separated. It's all connected, right? So it's kind of like connecting the dots. Now that's where you guys are trying to stand, right? You're trying to connect the dots. So you got so many dot line centers. Let's go position location direction. Dot, 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 dot. And this is probably what you see in spaceline at night, right? You see all this and you think it's stars. This is not stars. These are patterns, right? But it's a picture. You just don't see it yet through co-creation. You're trying to figure out what it is, right? Through perception. But you can't because you don't have the memory of what it is. But it's going very fast. It's trying to communicate with you. Every dot, center, point, line, center is trying to communicate to your perception of keeping the avatar through vibration, energy, frequency, harmonics. That is its question on its own. So understand where everything is in correlation. You come into triangulation force line. It opens all communication cycles, and high line rotation comes in position to direction, right? So it comes in high center interference, two position location calculations. You high channel its high line center in all direction. It positions all levels of you in high line conditions. It put position location into its direction line system, to its calculation, to its modification, to its pattern line center, to its visual location, to its pattern high system, to its calculation modification, to all levels of its creation. Space-time provision, AI map coordinate, right? So why is it so powerful to see these things? Why is it so powerful to understand these things? But you can't do it from outside. When I look at things, I don't look at things in position of what you think it is. I look at everything from inside me, which everything outside is just a reflection. So if I'm looking at something like this, I know what it is through creation, right? What is this line center interference location line connections? What is its creation line center? What is it? Brazil. Brazil's a boot. So in calculation line interference, you have to understand the directional location where it's coming through high interference. Now that's the co-creation of what it is through Brazil. Now, understand that through point line center. Why do you think have position location of patterns or anything to high located geometry interference? The XT1000 set line center interference, scan line center, and position location of two line arrow rotation calculations. Scans position locations, in all directions. V line center and position location to its flux capacitor. High line channel to its ground line center, rotation interference to its position location of time. Position location of its track line system. Opens all communication, power line center interference, electrical light. Travel through. There you go. Now you're traveling through Brazil. That's how it works, guys. It simplifies everything. Don't complicate things, right? So it's the simplify of everything. You're trying to understand the complexity of everything else. That's the confusion. That's the offline center. That's the off grid. That's roguing. Bye, guys. I know everything. I'll see you later. Wait a minute. I don't know anything. I'm back. So it's incredible when you set line conditional levels of what it is to travel line interference. But everything that I set up, you have to ask me why. How are you traveling through this? Because I know what I'm doing through creation. You see how that works? So these are the things that you don't understand. But that's a good thing. You know why? Because it's already said. You just don't see it through perception. You're trying to figure out your system. Now you're a master at all line center and the physical line. Congratulations. That's a beautiful thing. I said that on TikTok. That's great. That's amazing. Beautiful. But it has nothing to do with you inside. Nothing. Nothing to do with you outside. You can't reference anything outside. Because the thing is, if you don't learn to do these things from inside you, how are you going to understand you inside through vibration? Let's start there. Because we all live on what, guys? Emotion. Emotion with the ocean. Motion with the ocean. Understanding the waves, understanding the water. Why do you have water inside? You're creating the earth. Why do you have earth? You're creating the earth inside, the dirt, the soil, the grass, the trees. That's what you're doing. You're creating a full image of you of the earth inside of space and time. It doesn't get any more powerful than that. But you have to learn how to use the air, right? You need air. That's galaxy line. That's galaxies. You guys are not even there yet. You don't understand your weather patterns because you haven't created yet in sideline. You're still trying to figure out your memories, but you have a tendency to not focus on these things. And why do you think it's so important to understand what you're doing through structure is all levels of you from inside? That's you through travel, right? You're not traveling from outside, you're traveling from inside, which is basically corresponding everything from outside that's creating your realities, guys. That's why it's so important to understand these things. How to use your water, how to use your air, how to use your fires and your grounds of you inside. What's inside of you is your earth rotation. It's a beautiful thing when you create these things inside. That's what it is. Right? Take Belinda, position, location, line, interference, line, direction. There you go, Belinda, you're out. Thank you. So now you understand what it is or what you're trying to co-create, guys. It simplifies everything. All right. Yeah, like I said, you know, with the seashell, you put that up to your ear, you hear the ocean. There's creation right there. All right. Everything is codes of frequencies of vibration, guys. You have to stand and learn to use it from harmonics. It's just a basic understanding. You guys need your memories first and understand anything before you got the locations. Right? Yeah. You have to understand it's very hard if you're activated in the first line communication. You just have to really more position location, try to communicate with the team more, try to understand you more, drink your waters, try to get into navigation, try to get into your pre-flights. I mean, it's a basic process. Everybody goes through the same thing. But that gives you a better provision location on what it is, what you're trying to teach yourself is all levels of you through memory. Okay. And I also go live on TikTok every single day if you need help in that line connections, right? But you have to go through your own spiritual growth. You have to go through your own shadow work and you have to figure out who you are. That is your mission. Okay. 3 line centers and division locations. That's it. Right. So it's all about understanding. Complex is simplicity. That's me. You are the other way around. Simplicity, complex. That doesn't help the situation. That's a creation to an alter ego. Because you don't understand. That's okay. I don't expect you to understand anything. Just live in the now. Stay in the moments. That's it. And you'd be amazed what you pick up. Find a way to peace levels of the mind. Mind's got to be calm. It's got to be clear. You got to have the clarity. You have to have the focus. You have to have the serenity, the tranquility, the connections to its energy wash, the beautiful line center location of a tree formation, how it glistens in position of the sun, how it blows the wind line center off position location of the branches. Get into your imagination, a projection. How to understand how to communicate and travel through light, and try to understand how to communicate all levels of position locations of dark, because it's the yin and the yang of you. And that's your problem, is you can't find the balance, how to travel through your avatar, through energy, vibration, frequencies, and harmonics, right? It's a basic understanding of you through memory first, right? Got to start somewhere. So, okay. 37 and 30 line center interference location line connections, taking you guys out of equation interference, box sequence, start, box line center. Pandora's box, communication line triangles, and visit locations. You guys did okay. A little bit of confused line center. I can see why our interference location lost. High visit location calculated. Just bring you guys back. Now you're back. High signal interference. So test was a lot of fun. Try to understand you more levels is you through telepathy. And that's the way you have to get into the relatable system of you through projection. How you use the calculation inside you is your determination of you in space and how you travel through the mind, people. The mind. It's here. It's here. It's here. And it's here. And it's all levels of your heart. It's all levels of your soul, your transportation, your modem line centers, your sonar line centers, your position location of your sun. The rotation line connection position location is all levels of you through pressure, right? It's balancing you of light and dark, positive and negative, male and female, right and wrong, decisions is all based on you. Because if you can't figure these things out, your whole life is going to be nothing but a question mark. You can't move forward through a question mark until you understand the question mark. 2, an 8-line center, a triangular force line communication, and travel of 12 divisional locations of dimensional time. Ooh-ah. See? I took that out of equation, location to a question. Woo! Amazing what I just finished doing. No more problem. You guys find problems. That is not a solution. How is that going to help you in any way and form in life? In any way, connection? If you're trying to understand the alphabet system, are you going to start at Z and Z? No, you're going to start at A. So if you don't understand A, B, C, and D, and F, why are you trying to understand Z and Z? Doesn't make any sense. So you have to go through everything in position, location, and chronological order. Not and skip half the alphabet, where's the times pi? Where's the calculation? You're off grid. You're roguing. Where are you going? You have to understand A to Z. You can't go from A to Z. You have to go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right? That's the process. And that gives you motivation because you're coming to more levels of your mind system. Right? That gives you modification to location. And then you come into the levels of youth or gratitude location. I say, wow, this is amazing stuff. I'm actually learning of who I am inside. The basic understanding is how you travel through the mind, through your image of your drawing of your calculation. Right? Where are you going? What is the intention? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? What do you want to co-create? Well, you're drawing things out through the mind. You're projecting through the mind. Comes out. There it is. Manifested. Now you just wait. Then you create something else. But it's in the mind. Okay? So once you do these things, everything comes into the light and dark. And then you learn how to balance these things out. Right? Especially if you get lost in the mind. Right? You go back position location to your heart line. Right? Which is your base, which is your commanding system, which is your safety net, guys. That alone gets you in a better provisional location to its calculation. All right? That's the importance you have to understand. Right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jill. Happy birthday to you. Yay! All right, we're going to go line center interference location line conditions. Jill, where do you want to go? Jill, it's your birthday. Where do you want to go? It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Jill, where do you want to go? Orion. Okay. Set line center interference location line conditional line directions. Let's give a big celebration to all intelligent locations. All right. I'll bring the champagne on me. Communication line center. Orion's belt communication online center line conditions. Get everybody into the team in position location directions. You're going to see Dolores Cannon, Stephen Hawkins, all position locations of Tesla, high interference location, and high line rotations to all line conditions. All right. And Einstein in provisional locations calculations. Anybody else? Jill, you want connected to all of the Orion's belt? You guys are traveling. All right, you're there. Have fun. Celebration on hand, on me. All right. So you guys on Orion's belt. Have fun. I'll give you guys 50 minutes. How's that? 15 minutes of celebration to Jill's birthday. Congratulations, Jill. All right. Let's see. Signals in position direction. My system. So it's your understanding that, once you understand all levels of you inside, you basically understand your chakra system. I want to get back into the base of that, especially for all the new viewers that are coming in. All right. It's important you understand that. Because the thing is, if you don't understand how to use your chakra system, you're not going to how to delegate anything through a situation to understand these things, especially if you're boxed in a system, right? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you have to understand your chakra system of 7 and then understand the 5 atmospheres of you through time. That's understanding your 12 DNA, your 12 DNA strands, or location, its position of the location. So it's very powerful when you come to that, right? So it's all about how to use the transmit and receive. Right? How you use your downloads, upgrades, and uplikings and that locations. You have to understand these things because it's the avatar that it's feeding source, and it has to recognize you in all level, because that gives you a better feeling inside. You say, yeah, I think, I don't think anymore. I'm knowing. I'm starting to know more. And that knowing is position location of its direction, and it's giving what you need to understand in all calculation, right? Because you're trying to figure out who you are as an avatar. It's a beautiful thing. And you guys are all here for divine timing, right? You're all here for divine timing. And it's a beautiful thing. It's amazing when you see these things, location attraction. Okay? So, like I said, focus on you, right? You can communicate to the team. That's great. You're starting to learn more. right? Appreciate each other. Appreciate yourself first, right? Really put, hey, you're doing well, So everything that you do is all levels inside you through emotion. We already done that. We already know what that is. But you really have to understand how to use the chakra. I really want to understand the baseline center location of these calculations. You have to understand what that is. What is this? That's a rotation. So if you don't understand the rotation, this is you. Oh, no. This is you. So this is you falling off line center, off grounds, because you don't understand location. So if you don't understand that, that's nature of position, location, and resolution. There's a lot of things that you have to understand how anything can be misconstrued or mistrust in high center. The only thing you mistrust is yourself because you can't find a way to receive the position, location of what it is. It's coming into you through all memory. Like I said, it's a beautiful thing when you actually see yourself. More levels of inside of you. Right? It's an amazing thing when you see the travels. Okay. Yep. There's gifts and all that. Upgrades. You guys get all line center, all intelligence there, Guardians of the Galaxy, Palladians, Pleiadians, all line center interference. Okay. All line center locations of Andromeda. Everybody's there. Celebration. It's Jill's birthday. So congratulations, Jill. All right. So once you get into ground interference, it changes position, location, and directions. Now you go through black line interference. I really also want to get into the black hole because black hole is a beautiful thing. Just because you see a black hole doesn't mean it's dark. Because it's black? Because it's black, it's a dark hole? No. Right? This is a dark hole. Does that look like a dark hole? No. This looks like a spot. This is a dark hole. What you can't see is the problem. So, in position, if you don't understand that, it disappears. It's gone. Remember, it was traveling too fast, so you can't see it now. So, it's the calculation of high interference. You have to understand the light connections to all levels that it's dark. Right? Once you understand the yin and yang of a dark hole, you get a better position, location, of direction, and it starts recognizing you through your DNA line and rotation calculation. Intelligence. All right? Because there's always light in a dark hole. You can't see it though. Right? You perceive to understand everything, which is all levels of nothing. So that position location opens on line center. Now, the position location, you understand the Fibonacci circle in line center. There is a Fibonacci sequence. But what you can't see is already what's created inside. But all you see is a black circle. You see a black line. But what I've already created is already in position. Right? So if I showed you what I created, then you understand why it's so important to stay in the center operation of you. There's the Fibonacci. Right? It needs one line center, one circle, and another line center location. Two line center interference location in opposite directions. That's the Fibonacci. If it's going in the same direction, it's just a swirl. So a swirl line center is in our calculation line interference. It opens our communication system, right? So a swirl is just this. We already know what that is. It's like, right? And then you come back. That's a swirl. All right, so you really, really have to pay attention to sounds, to its eyes and what you see, and everything through your voice of command. You need a voicing command system to understand the calculation. All right, so this is a swirl. This is all it is. It's not a Fibonacci, just a swirl. Okay, so swirl goes in one direction. Now, if you want a swirl to go in the opposite direction, it's a swirl location line center Fibonacci sequence. So if you go in the opposite direction location, this is what it looks like in high center line connection. Okay, so understand that position location comes into its tunnel. There's the tunnel line rotation. Interference locations. Now you can go into a half pipe. I like the half pipes. There's a half pipe. So it goes from here and right through, right? So half bytes are really cool, but you need a secure line defense at 12 line position locations because you're not ready to get out of your 12 DNA body line center location, the avatar line condition upstream. There's a 12 line in the center. Now, when you understand the Fibonacci sequence location, position location of a swirl, swirl becomes its Fibonacci sequence into 12 line position to its half byte location, right? So then you get an line center, you get an XT1000 traveling through, and this is where it comes into the input line center to the out line center location to your audio signals. So you have to understand where the calculation is coming from all line center to the XT1000 position, that time line center. All right. So in that position, there's an XT1000 coming in, traveling through this half byte. See? So in this location, you see it coming out, right? It's coming out. It's going out. It's going out. Out. Right? So in position location, you can't go in. That's your arrow. You can't go in. That's something that's coming out. So there you go. Kaboom. You see how that's made? So space has its in and has its out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Right? That's it. That's all it is. But it's so complex in position. It simplifies for me because I created it. But to understand the inline center is its half pipe on its own, 3/4 length. A 3/4 line center interference location is a half line center location. It's another interference. So what you're doing is you're yielding, you're merging off, right? You created another tunnel line center rotation calculation in a 12-line sequence location calculation. There's a merge, right? So in position location, or you go into a full cycle, a rotation line center in position location directions into a Fibonacci sequence to a swirl line center. Both line center and position direction go in the same way, right? It's pretty powerful stuff. So when it goes faster and faster, it creates its tunnel in position location and direction. Ooh-ah. See? So it's very powerful what travel is. We'll get more into that. I really want to get more into half pipes, 3/4 lengths, 1/2, L connections to times pi, because that's what it is. Times pi is its calculation from to and from. It's what you do from here to here. That's times pi. How long did it take you to get from here to here? So maybe you have to go through a half pipe. So that's a shortcut. One way to get there, right? Or 3/4 length, right? But you still get there, right? So it's all about travel, right? So I also want to get into that because I think a lot of people are confused. What is pi? Through times calculation, times box, time division, times sector, right? Time interference location of box line equation. So it's all levels of U. Now, it multiples its position location to its AI vessel communications, all levels, and how you use your time through travels of space. Right? It's incredible when you understand more formation to its calculations, right? So when you're creating that line center, you come into a line. So you can come back in position location and you come into times pi. See? Times pi position. So times pi is just based on direction. So it's kind of like equation line center from here to here. So how much time is it from here to here? That's times pi. All right. And then you set sonar line position location to the sun. Ooh-ah. All right. So the sun has to recognize you through all sonar, right? Echo chambers, communication interference, line direction location. Boom, 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 boom. Everything is an echo. Everything travels. So your voice travels, right? It sequences its interference location, how you use your alpha, delta, theta, beta, or omega, right? Truly understand what an alpha wave is. What is a delta line? What is a theta? Theta is the position of T reception line. It laces its position, location, directions, and how you modify your sun position to its lights and its moon of its program location, the 2-vector line center, 3-line rotation into 4 positions times equation, right? All through my finger line center. Now the thumb is inline rotation, right? That is its 3/4. All right. So in calculations from here to here, if I want to get a half byte, I have to have another thumb in rotation, right? So it's trying to understand how to create these things in position of direction. So it's all about understanding, if it's going from this position location, it's got to, right? So it's amazing how you set these things up, and it's all about merging. So you're always in the center line, and that's with contact, where you look and see her going at so many levels, but her face is going, it's coming in and out, right? So it's amazing. That's exactly what it is. That's a really good formation how to travel, because you see her in so many different face lines. She's here, she's over here, she's over here, and she's over here. The faster you go, the more the particle of your face splits its position, location, line, center. But the only thing that stays in location is you. You look like you're going through 16,000 line centers of circles or anything through tunnels or half pipe, but you're only going through one position location. So it's going so fast, you're going through one tunnel, but it looks like you're going through 16,000 tunnels at one location. So it's amazing how your perception changes location and acceleration. It's system times equation times pi times box times division square root. We'll get more into that. That will get you in a better location how to use your equation to its position of direction. All right. So again, Jill, happy birthday. I hope you have an awesome day. I hope that guys helped you out in calculation line interference. Tomorrow, we travel through line center line rotation in all levels to a more Fibonacci sequence of calculation. Adios, everybody.